My name is Margot Francis. I'm a faculty member in Women's and Gender Studies here at Brock University, and I'd like to offer you my warmest welcome to the Global Movement Assemblage Symposium. This event will probe the tensions in scholarship and activism concerned with translocal movements for social justice. As many of us know, contemporary Indigenous activism is often in the background or overlooked in social movement organizing, including where I live, which is in Toronto, about an hour and a quarter from here, on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe peoples, in particular the Mississauga of the New Credit. However, in my densely urban neighborhood, Idle No More has left many traces of Indigenous presence. I highlight this evening to welcome you just one of those traces. Oops. There it is. This billboard is 3 blocks from my house, and it references the dish with one spoon covenant agreement. The text is in Anishinaabemowin. The translation is now at the top. It says, if you want to learn something, first you must learn this. The dish with one spoon covenant agreement was between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and many Anishinaabeg nations. It was made in 1701, and the agreement was to peaceably share and protect the territory around the Great Lakes. That territory and those resources for all of those nations. The artists are Hayden King and Susan Blight. And in this one short assertion, the message tells us a great deal. First, it says that social movements for racial, spatial, and ecological justice long predate many of us in this room. And secondly, that relational and anti-capitalist and radically democratic assemblages continue amongst Indigenous activists and artists. As Brock is located on the shared lands of the Okwehonwe, in particular the Anishinaabeg and Haudenosaunee people, I hope we can indeed keep this dish with one spoon covenant in mind in our conversations this weekend, and learn from and with this legacy and continue that conversation. Darren Thomas is from Six Nations of the Grand River, and I want to give a warm welcome to him and thank him for welcoming us to this territory. Darren is a PhD candidate at Wilfrid Laurier University, where he also works as an Indigenous Studies liaison. In addition to his academic and community work, Darren is a certified hypnotherapist. Come on up, Darren.
Scanis Griego. My English name is Darren Thomas. My real name is Yonjase. I'm Onondaga or Seneca, and we're part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy of Nations. It's my honor and pleasure to come and visit with you today and welcome you to territory. The words I offer, in a language we say gunohanyo. It's not really a prayer. It's not really ceremony. It's proper protocol and good manners is what it is. And what it is that when you know and understand about the Haudenosaunee, the very fabric of our being is centered on this value of kanakuyo, this good-mindedness, and then ask each of us to be the very best human being as possible. Every single day that we have on this earth is the opportunity to be the best human being we can. And Creator willing, if we see another day, it's another opportunity to be more kind, more gentle, more caring, more compassionate, more loving, and more strong. but it's not a physical strength that we talk about when we talk about strength. It's the strength here. And it's a balance of that strength and that passion in life. And when visitors came to our territory, and this again goes back anciently to when even before we as nations existed as a confederacy, when we were all separate nations, we had a peacemaker come to our people and teach us about all this good-mindedness, teach us how to be well and how to think of others and how to care for others. And he teaches us how we care for others when they come into our territory as well. And this still remains in place for when visitors come to our lands, and it's actually become part of our funeral rites as well when we're sending someone back home. Because of the grief that people naturally carry, we pick up. In this world, there's always things that grow heavy on our minds, heavy on our heart. But before we sit down to do any business, we do this ganohanyo. And it's like a cleansing. You might be familiar with some traditions where they do smudging. And they'll burn sage or sweetgrass as a cleansing. Within the Haudenosaunee, we don't do this kind of smudging. We use our words. So if you imagine whatever you might be carrying on this day in your travels, and some of you are traveling from far away, as I recite these words, I want you to think about the universe, and I want you to think about all the things that might be heavy on your mind and your heart right now, and set them aside. And let's think about all the great things that we have in this universe. I'm going to do it in a language, and then I'll translate. Nanda nage go ten, aswatong si oskai hwai go awado. Ne hedwe bakanto sa guaidiso sa guawi gonohanyo. Ne ne awesa scano donotanyo. Ne di ne ndwe he ihya ska ndwaya agwatni goha. Ska de drada nohanyo ne toganyo to ogwatni goha. Dane and dwa truwi, se a Wednesday. Dwano ha, dwano qua, nego to sent nieha. Nedi ne and dwe hake. Gwego dedwa no hanyo ne to ganyo to, o one negoha. Dane and dwa truwi. Hodai hondanyo, touch nege se, da hawa yenen hake. Nedi ne and dwe hake. Ska dieti no hanyo ne to ganyo to, o one negoha. Dane and dwa truwi. Genyo wadage hariya yakyono ne diokinyanido ne scano donotanyo ne di ne dwe hake the yeti nohanyo hariya yakyono diokinyanido ne to ganyo tok o wanigoha dane dwa truwi said gowana skanadayo oi hawana touch what's up ne desai hai waitwat seth nasago ye hake on hando a wended friend in yogi Nedi ne dwe hek, de said one no honyo, said go wana, skanadayo, ne toganyo tok, o wani goha. Dan and dwa truwi, how ha gay go hide hanangre seguidiso, ne so to sando, ne scanon, I'd one nundanyo. Nedi ne dwe hek, de said one no honyo, said go wana, go hide hanangre seguidiso, ne toganyo tok, o wani goha. Danito nagat gweni, ike agai getta ganohonyo. Those words there, that's the short modern version of our Thanksgiving. So I cheated there. I said, Scott dieti nohonyo, we give thanks for everything in the universe all at one time. A lot of nations tease the Haudenosaunee when we get invited to do an opening because we're well known to be talkers. And when we do that recitation, like I said, I gave us the short version. There's a standard version that's about 20 minutes in length. The real version is about an hour, right? So if you imagine, if I was to ask you to stand up and give thanks for every single thing you experience as a human being on this earth on this day? Hopefully you could talk for a great length of time. Because what I mentioned to us is I reminded each of us how awesome it is right now at this moment that we're alive. That we've got the opportunity to gather with friends and colleagues and loved ones, to meet old friends, to restore our well-being with each other, and that we're here now. And if you followed along, if you're linguists out there and you followed closely, I said, Ne togen yotok ogwahni goha, at the end of every one of my passages. And what those words being closely translated is, so it be in each of our minds. Now, if we were in a community of speakers who understood that, the men acknowledge those words. And they acknowledge it by a, yeah. Some Mohawks will acknowledge those words by to. And it becomes this participatory practice. Now the women, they don't have to acknowledge those words because they're directly connected to the universe in creation. And so they're always in a place of well-being. But men, we forget that. And we have to remind ourselves, what are these things to keep important? So I stepped into another realm and I talked about our mother, the one who cares for us, the one who protects us, the one who loves us, the one who nurtures us, our mother the earth, and how she cares for everything, including us, and how grateful we are that we have her here, continuing to do her duty to care for us. And with all our love and all our caring and compassion and kindness and gentle, warm thoughts to our mother, the earth, we give thanks to her. And that's where I cheated. And I said, and everything else we give thanks. But if you imagine all these different levels in creation, starting from beneath our feet, to all the medicines, the sustenance and the food that we shared this evening. The four-legged ones, the trees, the water and the fishes, the birds, everything. And we just kind of move up into the heavens, and then I start talking about all the celestial beings that exist out there in the universe. Genyu Gwadage, the four directions. The four heavenly beings that guide us, that protect us, that give us strength and help us to stand upright. To some of the prophets that we've had, like Skanadayo, who've taught us how to be well and how to be a good being. And we end up at that great mystery. The Big Bang, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, Creator, whatever, this big mystery. We don't know, but it's a big mystery that's created all of this. But we acknowledge that power in creation that allowed us all to be alive at this moment, at this time, to give thanks for this opportunity. When we do this, like I said, it's tied to our condolence ceremony as well. So as visitors to the land, and again, think about this in terms of metaphor. If you were traveling old style through all the trails and, horseback or on foot, when you arrived at your destination from a trail, just like those old hokey westerns, right? You're all dusty, right? So those words are cleaning that dust from you, cleaning the burrs from you, all the prickly thorns. Those of you that go hiking and rough camping, right? You get thorns and burrs all over you. So those words are picking those all off of you, right? And allow you to come into territory clean. Now, again, with this edge of the woods, it's actually done by our warriors as well, because they also ask you what your intentions are. why are you coming to this territory, right? So I'm putting a lot of trust and faith in my friends from Brock for inviting you into my territory. But that's a very real thing. Because when we consider our existence today in Canada, Indigenous peoples are often the forgotten about peoples in this mess. We're the marginalized of the marginalized. You just simply have to look at the health statistics to see that. This needs to be our lens as all activists, as all people that are caring about social justice and equity. And we have to recognize Canada is a settler state. We are on Indigenous people's lands. No matter where you go on Turtle Island, North America, some nation held that territory. Some nation is the stewards of that land. That needs to be honored and respected wherever you go. And wherever your feet currently are, and wherever you call home, find out whose land it is. There's actually an app. There's an app. You can find out what nation is closest to where you are. I can't remember what it's called now. It just totally jumped out of my head, but it's something like My Turtle Earth or something like that. I'll find it and I'll let you know. But there is an app and you can look and see, oh yeah, where we are. And it gives you all the connections to the local nations, right? So, hopefully, again, in good Haudenosaunee fashion, I took way much time, and I often tease people when we're involved in anything, you have to throw out the agenda, because agendas don't exist in Indigenous. Time is not linear within Indigenous people's minds, right? So, Donato.